summit is being held next week to address the major issue of gender-based violence. We welcome Jill Shillabeer with the Alberta Council of Women's Shelters to the show this morning. Good morning, Jill.
Good morning.
So nice to have you. Let's talk about the need for women's shelters here in our province. How many calls do you get?
In the last year, our members, who are all across Alberta, received over 65,000 calls for help. So they were able to shelter over 7,000 of those folks. About half of that number is kids. And they were able to provide a lot of outreach supports as well. But the need for folks to be able to reach out for help is very, very high.
You recently put out a report calling for some more funding, some more help. What makes you think that you're so underfunded?
The challenge of sheltering is a huge one, and when we look at that disparity between the number of calls that we're getting and the number of folks who are being sheltered, we know that there's a gap in services that's there. We also know that folks who are working in the sheltering field have not received any form of increase in terms of their pay for close to 10 years, about 8 years at this point. And given the inflation that's facing folks either working in shelter or even just trying to feed the families who are in shelter, we're really struggling to make ends meet.
And in terms of that impact, how do these, women and these families, these kids, how do they see that impact the most, the funding crunch?
In terms of what they need, in terms of keeping themselves safe, it puts all of that at risk. So when we're looking at those families and they're really trying to just get themselves to safety, have a safe place to sleep, have food on the table, all of those same challenges that a lot of us are facing these days, it's really, really exacerbated when those folks are facing the risk of violence, right? If that's their alternative.
When seeking safety, you need safety for sure.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the summit that you're hosting.
So next week, we are thrilled to be gathering a number of folks together to talk about gender-based violence prevention. So we've just talked a lot about the intervention side where folks are able to get out and get help. What we really want to do at the same time is do everything we can to end gender-based violence. And so we're bringing together experts from all across Canada and some from the US to talk about what are the emerging research and best practices in terms of ending gender-based violence and preventing it. And we have some really amazing speakers who are coming.
Some star power behind the support. Talk to us about that.
Yes, so our headliner for the event is Jonathan Van Ness from Queer Eye.
That's awesome.
They are an amazing supporter of this work and have been just a dream to work with. So we're really excited to welcome them to Edmonton. And there's a public event that'll be happening during the summit that anyone can come to on Wednesday, May 3rd in the evening at the River Cree.
Awesome.
Tickets are available online for that, and they'll be able to hear Jonathan in really intimate conversation about why this issue is important to them.
And we have a couple seconds left before we let you go this morning. What do you want to say to, women out there who are looking for support and who might need, a little extra in a difficult period of their life?
Shelters are open and available to support folks and to give a call to their local shelter. You don't have to stay in a shelter to get help from a shelter, and those folks are the experts in helping folks stay safe.
It's always okay to ask for help, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And we are so glad to have your help and support this morning. All the best with the summit.
Thank you so much.
If you would like to get tickets or for more information, you can find a link on our website, CTVnewsedmonton.ca, and click under Morning Live.